Good evening. Let's start this meeting off. It's 7:02. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item on the agenda is acceptance of our last minutes of 8/8/22. Has everybody looked at them? Do we have any comments? Any corrections, any additions? If no one has any comments or anything, let's entertain a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept.
Al's got a motion to accept.
Second.
Steve's got a motion to second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. New business. We've got a public hearing for an application for variance from section 32-155C4 Wetlands Protection Overlay District, requested by Cheryl and Steve Miller to permit installation of a 19 by 16 accessory shed approximately 13 feet from the closest wetland delineation, where 25 feet is allowed for the setback requirements of hydric B soils. The property is located at 110 Grat Road, tax map R4, lot 71, R1 zone. With that, I'll open it up to the, are you Mr. Miller?
I am.
The floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to see. The situation as it stands right now, the shed has already been built. The shed itself is actually 12 by 16. The pad that I intend on putting it onto is 9 by 16 in order to allow for some space around the shed in order to walk around it. When I had built the shed was placed next to the garage on the, if I had to remember, it's on the west side of the building. As the shed was being built, Peter, who was the zoning administrator at that time, came by and asked questions. Had asked me if I had done all the permitting and all the required setbacks and everything like that. And unfortunately, I had not pulled a permit. I was not aware that a permit would be needed. The reason for this was that my original investigation as to what I would need in order to build the shed was based on the state building code, not anything to do with the town. And that was my mistake. But come to find out, all these setbacks were okay, except for the wetland zoning setback. For as long as my family had lived on that property, there had never been any sort of wetlands delineated on it.
How long has that been, sir?
Since 1992, February 92. There was no delineation done. There was no wetlands discovered on the property as far as we knew. However, when Peter had come out, he had noticed that the swale that is on the west side of the house could be considered a wetland and would need a delineation done. And that's when I had gotten Ambit Engineering in Portsmouth to go ahead and delineate those wetlands for me. And sure enough, that swale, as well as most of the backyard that has been developed, is now considered a wetland, hydrologic B soil, is because of flooding. And the flooding actually does happen because of rainwater and everything, seeping in and coming through the culvert underneath the Grant Road into that swale, and it's seasonal. So by May, it's usually dry, and right now, as a matter of fact, it's dry as well. So that's why no wetlands were even considered. But after we had discovered that there was some wetlands there, the decision was to make a move of the shed to try and move it as far away from the wetlands as possible. The only sensible area that is on the property is on the east side of the house, on a developed but unused area of the yard. It would need to be leveled and have gravel put down, all the other accoutrements that would be needed for having the shed on the property. And in order to be able to do this, we needed a building permit as well as also applying for this variance to the zoning ordinance. Ideally, I would like to keep the shed where it is, namely because it's already on a part of the property that has been previously developed back in 1992 when a well was needed to be drilled for, fresh water. So there's already a road that is overgrown now, but it is part of that edge of where the wetland delineation is. It's not actually in a wetland, it's just on the edge of it, of course. I could do the proposed improvements for this variance as it's stated in the request, such as putting in a rain garden and all the other things that I would like to do around the area in order to improve the area and prevent any sort of impact onto the wetlands that are currently existing. It would also provide an easier way of getting into the shed, so we would not have to cross the yard. We could actually use the existing driveway in order to get to the shed. The shed can be moved. It is a non-permanent structure. It is up on cinder blocks on a gravel pad, but we can move it.
Now, is what you're talking about different than what we're looking at now?
The ideal situation of not moving it would be different to the variance as been requested.
Does that pose a problem for us where we're looking, does he have to come back he'd have to come back?
You would have to apply for a new variance, yes.
All right. If that's the case, I would just go ahead forward with the current variance.
I'm sorry, we have to deal with the facts as they're presented to us, and if things change midstream, basically we've got to let everybody and their brother know, and
I understand.
it's not that we're looking to penalize you or anything.
No,
I want to work with you.
I'm perfectly fine with moving the shed.
Okay, thank you. You presented your information. Is there anything you want on the various criteria for a variance? Is there anything you feel you need to add to that?
Other than the shed is going to be used as storage for household items for my mother, who has limited mobility in the house. The house is currently filled with items that are not frequently used. We would like a place to store them. We can't put them in the basement as the basement's been finished and my brother lives in that area. The garage is obviously used as a garage, and we don't have any other storage areas to put these items.
Okay. At this point in time, I'd like to open up the discussion to the public. If any of the abutters or anybody's got anything to say on this, we'll open up the meeting right now to them. All we have to do is step up to the mic and let us know their name and where they live.
My name is Glennie Downing. I live at 118 Grant, which abuts his property. And I just want to let you know I have no problem with what he wants to do.
Thank you. With that, we want to open up the discussion on this end, guys. You guys got any questions?
The drawing that you gave us, the blue line is indicating what?
I don't have a copy of it in front of me.
That would be the wetland setback.
This line here.
Yes, that would be the approximate wetland setback. I couldn't measure it out exactly with that map. But
Okay.
according to the measurements that I had taken from the actual delineation
Right.
to where it would actually intersect the shed pad, that's where it lands.
Okay, thank you. So I guess my question to you is, would it be possible to move that shed to its new location further closer to the street to avoid the wetland setback completely?
So there are two things that would be impinged on, one being the 40-foot setback from the road, as well as there's two very tall pine trees that the shed would be up against in order to put it into that location. To move it further back, I would have to remove those trees.
To move it closer to Grant Road?
To move it closer to the road, I would have
Okay,
to
I
remove
was
those
up there
trees.
today, but I was focusing on
Mhm.
the left-hand side. Okay, thank you.
Did I miss something? You mentioned rain gardens and all that. Where?
It
Who's,
should be in the application for the variance. I haven't drawn anything for the rain
Oh,
garden yet.
You
I
just
need to-
say you're gonna be putting them in.
Yes, I would need to get together with a landscaper that would help me out with that.
Okay.
where is it?
That would have been in,
It's under criterion 1.
yeah, under criterion 1.
Oh, I see.
So you're basically using this rain garden to replace plants that you think might be damaged?
Currently, there are no plants that are there other than an old maple tree. The rain garden would be used in order to soak up any extra rain that may come from having the shed at that location. We would collect the rain into barrels and use that to water our gardens, and also use that rain garden area to soak up any additional water that may go into the backyard.
Well, my personal opinion of rain gardens is not too, I don't think they do much, so if you want to put one in,
So that's why you get pervious pavement in your yard?
well, water
Sorry.
doesn't go into,
Not in that area.
not in that area, so I think I don't think that's a sales pitch to me. But
Well, it does take the peaks off of things, which can help, but one of the things I asked the planning board earlier today was when the house was built, and I believe they said 97,
92.
92, and the wetlands ordinance went into effect in '03. So your lot was built well before the ordinance was built. It's just as a note here, had they known what they know now, they might have moved things around a little bit. It's just for the record, that's all. Does anybody want to make a motion, or are we done? We close the public input session right now. It's 7:17. Sorry.
I don't have any questions or comments now.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the application for variance from section 32-155 C4 Wetland Protection Overlay District, requested by Cheryl and Stephen Miller, to permit the installation of a 19 by 16 accessory shed approximately 13 feet from the closest wetland delineation, where 25 feet is allowed for the setback requirements of hydrologic being soils. The property is located at 110 Grant Road, tax map R4, lot 71, R1 zone.
I'll second that.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Okay, Al made the motion and Wayne seconded it. We're gonna do a roll call vote. Al?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Bob? Aye. It's a unanimous decision. And you have your variance.
Thank you very
And,
much.
oops, I should probably have made a note that the finding of fact is gonna be the record presented to us and the information provided by the planning board as to the date of the ordinance and when the house was built.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Good luck moving.
Well, that should be the easiest part of the whole.
You may wanna wait until it freezes.
Well, we've got plenty of room that we can move it into and around. The backyard's completely dry and solid, so we don't have to worry about it.
Good, thank you. That was the last item on the agenda. Motion to adjourn is in order.
Yeah, so moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
It's a unanimous decision to adjourn.
All right.
We can shut off anytime.
St. Thomas, you're going to.